Let's get it.
Yo, shout out to the real highly dysfunctional, man. I got my man Greg Graham. He's also a superhero, man. He does his thing. He's spreading awareness, man. And he's such a mean, tough, strong person. And I didn't think that, you know what I'm saying, any of this would have happened. And anybody think that he'll be spreading the message, telling everybody about it. So please, man, tell everybody how you got into this.
Before I even get into that, man, I want to really thank you for allowing me to have myself on your show. Thank you, T. But I wanted to bring up a couple of things. The reason why I even spoke to you about this, man. I think when you came out, was it 11 or 10? You came out of jail. Me and you and Amadi and then we went to the city and got bottles and shit. And I got you dressed up. I was like, yo, put on this shirt. And he was like, nah, I ain't taking this. Take off your shirt and boom, boom, boom. Use this wilding out in the club and then just doing your thing. And the cats was getting upset, like, yo, Rashid's taking all the bottles. I'm like, yo, man.
I drunk all the things alcohol.
It's all love. But what you said to me, you came up to me, you was like, yo, G, normally I would smash kids in the head, but you're like my older brother, man. I respect you. If you tell me to cool out, I'll cool out. I was like, yo, that's love, man. I really appreciate that. And also, when this happened to me, a lot of cats didn't really understand how to deal with me. But you and I used to talk back and forth on Instagram, showing pictures of, different ladies on Instagram. And I really respected that because you showed me love and you didn't look at me as, this a disabled cat or anything like that. Like, you really showed your brother love. And I really appreciate that, brother.
Well, appreciate love. I always show you love when you're a strong guy. You want something possible. And a lot of people don't know. Black people are the leading cause of death from stroke. It's the stroke is more deadly. It's more deadly than the coronavirus. See all this coronavirus attention. Stroke, heart disease is rampant in the African American community. The things we eat, the way our body type is, and I want Greg to break all that down. And it's the 5th leading cause of death, and this is a fact. So we got to give it coverage just like we give the COVID-19 coverage. So that's why I want to talk about this.
Break down what happened to me. What happened to me is like I was born with this thing, man. I didn't know it until it actually happened. I had this thing called an AVM, or arteriovenous malformation. And what it is basically when you have your veins and your arteries, they have capillaries that go together. They're usually supposed to be straight lines. Mine was all knotted up. So, over the years, I played football. I could have just died on the football field from a head injury. Anytime that could have happened. So a lot of times, like what you were saying in the Black community, we don't really know about this. We used to get high school physicals and say, yo, you clear to go, but nobody really checks your head. So these are the things in our community, we don't have enough insurance. We don't have enough knowledge about this, that this can happen and boom, you just straight up die. Now, a lot of people, even with the food situation, eating processed foods, eating sugars, eating white bread, white rice, all that is actually detrimental to us because it actually puts a lot of sugar into our bodies. And into that sugars in our body can cause blood clots. And that blood clot could actually stop you from getting the actual nutrients or the blood to go to your actual brain.
Right.
So those are two different things. You have one that has for the blood clots and the one that has for the brain bleed. I had the brain bleed.
So you had the one that went to the brain. And what it does is you have a stroke. Do you have to reprogram your brain? Like the thinking?
Actually, like, all of that, man, all of that had to be done. Like for me, everybody's different because we got to really think about it. It's not brain dead, it's brain damage. So your brain controls all of your body and all your functions. So everybody that has a stroke, their symptoms and their results afterwards is gonna be totally different because it's different parts of your brain that could be affected. Mine was in the back of my brain. It could be in the front of your brain. It could be in your brain stem. It could be anywhere you could have these actual brain bleeds and it will destroy that part of the brain. Then part of the functions of your body get destroyed as well too. So I did have to learn everything over.
So real quick, so take me back, man, because you're a big, strong, physical guy. And you're a guy that everybody, comes to, you're a big, strong guy. People lean on you. It's probably got to be like people would probably don't know how to look at you after that. Because saying such a big guy, been humble. I really didn't notice it when I come around you. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't notice it. But like I said, I probably wasn't around you on a consistent basis to see you struggle in and out your house in your everyday life. So first, take me back to what happened. What happened?
All right, so basically, I used to drive T, you look so beautiful down there. I'm sorry, I had to pay you some attention. Hey, baby girl, how you
Punch
doing?
in, T. Punch in.
Yeah,
So
go ahead. I want you to tell me what.
You listening to me, T? I want you to listen to me, T. I don't really want to talk to Smash. I want to talk to T. How you doing, T?
That's what I'm talking about. It's so good to talk to him, man. I wanted to talk too.
All right, so basically, Smash and T, this is what happened to me. You know, I used to drive RVs back and forth from Gary, Indiana to all over the United States. So at one particular time, I went up to Gary, Indiana, and my trailer wasn't there. So I had to sleep in the middle of the night. It was right after Thanksgiving in November. So I had to sleep in the cold. I lost all my money that I was supposed to have. You know, at that time, me and my lady was fighting. We was arguing about something. So I had a lot of things in my mind. And as I was driving back, I was talking to one of my boys, you know, Hamadi. Me and him used to do a show together called Okay, We Listening. And I was going to be late for that show. And he was like, yo, I don't want to really start it without you, G, boom, 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 boom. And thank God I got off the phone with him, because you know how we do. Be like, you know, you got a headache, you'll keep on driving. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I got off the phone with him. So I'm talking to my mom and her best friend on the phone, because, you know, you like to talk to people while you're driving those long hauls. And I got this headache. I got this excruciating headache. It was a headache that I never had before. It's nothing to alleviate. I tried to drink some water, you know what I mean? And I'm on the highway now, driving my truck, and I'm feeling this pressure in my head. So do you know DeMacy Middleton?
I do.
And his brother Francis?
I know DeMacy. He passed away, right?
Both.
Mason,
he passed away. He had an aneurysm.
Right. All right.
His brother had an aneurysm.
Wow.
So
yeah, they both died. Well,
real quick sidebar. Let me ask you a question. So when you say that about two brothers, like, could a stroke actually be like genetic? If you have had like a parent or a grandparent, or if it's consistent in your family, does genetics have anything to do with it? Like such things as like diabetes and high blood pressure? Could genetics play a factor in that?
Let's pull back a little bit, because there's two things you're actually talking about. And two things actually happened to me. I had a brain bleed. Like some people have what's called an aneurysm. I had what's called an AVM rupture, and that leads to a stroke.
Okay.
So aneurysms are hereditary. They're usually from your mother's side. So if someone has an aneurysm, they should tell everybody on their mother's side to go get an MRA or MRI to actually find out if that actually happened to them, or they have that actual gene, because you'll be able to see it. And that's what I was talking about before. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. You know, when we used to play football, nobody checked our heads. That was never a part of the physical. Your body's good, cool. Go smash some people. But if we got that actual physical, probably about 60 or 70% of the people that we know would not have played football because of that particular instance.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
And it's even crazy that nobody checks for this stuff.
Exactly.
Nobody checked for it.
I didn't even think about that until you said it.
So basically, when you're going for a school physical, is it safe to say that because the school physicals are actually like generic, they just do like a generic passing, would it be safe to say that for children, like say now, for instance, if you have children going into sports, especially football, something that's a contact sport, would you suggest to the parents to take them to their own physician to get a more extensive physical versus just the generic one that they give you when you go in high school?
That is crazy, because the way you even think about that is like, you can't just go to your physician and say, hey, can you check my brain? Because those MRIs cost about $10,000. So if you don't have the insurance for it, or if you don't have a cause for it, they're not going to check for it. So I think the more that it has to be more intertwined with that, we have to go to our state legislators to actually make that part of physicals. If someone is going to be dealing with a physical sport like that, to check their heads. Because the helmet is not the only thing that's going to help us. Once that brain gets rattled, once you get that blunt trauma, and smash, you could contest to this, because you used to do that ultimate fighting stuff, right? So if you get hit in the head, boom, you can get concussion, and boom, you start bleeding, boom, you're dead. That's a fact.
So, you can't bleed from the head. And even me, I already know I'm on the verge of having a stroke, so it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a laughing matter. I was just,
but
I want to ask you a question. and then I want to get back to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Anger, irritable, my thoughts is right all over the place. I already got heart disease, that's first of all.
As well as I do.
And I actually don't pay no attention. And
cholesterol, high cholesterol.
You're definitely scaring me, and you're definitely bringing me on point that I need to get back to take care of my health. So,
right.
Irritability, being like, you know, my vision, I can't concentrate, being angry, you know what I'm saying, being thoughts, like losing things, like I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm losing my mind.
Like anxiety almost?
It's just like you can't think straight. Like I can't think straight. Like I couldn't think straight for nothing. I couldn't concentrate. I went to sleep, I left my sunroof open, and you know, been raining all day. I ain't wake up till 3, you know, I told you, you know what I'm saying? The next day I wake up, you know what I'm saying?
Flooded.
Car flooded outside, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's flooded right now, man. So, yeah. I'm sad about it, too, because
trust me, I know you're sick
my
right
language,
now.
you need your
I'm so sick. Because I'm spending so much money trying to get this shit off the ground, and shit is not right now. But listen,
I get it.
So get back to you, man.
Yeah.
Tell me if you felt any of this.
No, actually I didn't. I did have a lot of stress going on. I did, because if we rewind a little bit back, like in 2016, I had my stroke in 2017. In 2016, I lost my high-paying job. You know how we was going to the club and all that, and we was just buying bottles. I wasn't able to do that no more because I lost that job. I was making about $120,000 a year. I lost that job. That's when I did the RV truck.
It's safe to say that anxiety also can cause like
anxiety, stress, and that's a problem that we have in our community, man. Like us Black men, we don't have outlets to actually say, you know, this is bothering me.
Exactly.
This is bothering me. This is hurting me. And our women want us, and I'm not, no offense to you, T, but our women be like,
give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me straight. Don't cut no corners. Give it to me. I'm built like that. What we need to do to keep y'all from dying.
See, I'm gonna give it to you. See? Real shit. But but for real. But this is what happens. Like, you know, we get all this information from you guys, and a lot of things that a woman hasn't dealt with in her life, in her childhood, she brings it into a relationship with her man.
Absolutely.
And now her man is dealing with that information too, and he has nowhere to go because I can't just go to my boy and be like, you know what, my wife or my lady, you know, she had a messed up childhood, or she's been molested as a kid, and nobody really dealt with her. You know, I don't know how to handle it. Like, no, handle that, dude.
Nobody.
So now we keep that all in.
Exactly. So my thing is, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to say this before I forget. My thing is, when it comes down to things like that, I am a strong believer in therapy. A lot of times we don't, as the Black community, when you talk to, especially our elders, when they're so set in their ways, if you go to them and tell them things like that, they automatically chunk it up as you're crazy. So we were never ever like introduced to therapy. Like when you talk about somebody that's actually in therapy, the first thing they say, "Oh, she must be crazy. She going to see a psychologist. She crazy." But no, it's not that. So I just want to piggyback off what you said. When it comes down to that and not being able to handle even a relationship, a childhood, maybe if you have an irate child that's out of control and you just don't know what to do with them, sometimes beating them is not always the answer. So as the Black community, I feel like we need to start incorporating therapy if it's possible, just so that our children coming up don't have these issues when they get grown. And as adults, if we can't figure it out, I strongly push therapy, strongly.
Absolutely. And that's a problem that we could go into when we get to that part. But, you know, after you have a stroke, they don't really deal with that. They don't deal with your mental state. They just deal with your, okay, you want to go to physical therapy because you can't move your arm? Okay, do you want to learn how to write again? Okay, we're going to put you in occupational therapy. They don't deal with your mind at all. I haven't seen a psychiatrist yet.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I had to go find a psychiatrist. And they're not out there. The psychiatrist that I need is called a neuropsychiatrist. That's very hard to find.
This whole thing exists.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not available to us. It's not available to us. It's not readily available.
And why not?
If you're on Medicaid and you have this happen to you, you might as well forget about it. If you see a lot of homeless people on the street, most likely they probably had some kind of trauma into their heads, and they on the streets because nobody took care of them. They had no families. Like, I was fortunate that I had family. If I didn't have family, I'd be on the streets right now.
All right, real quick. So, your job, you lost your job.
Yeah.
Did it have to do with what was going on?
Nah, so I lost my job, and it put a strain on my relationship with my wife because she didn't work, and she stayed home for about 10 years. So I was a breadwinner. I made the money. You know, if you wanted to go on vacation, Dominican Republic, boom, baby, let's go.
Right.
And $5,000, nothing. I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden now, and I used to travel a lot too. And now I'm home every day. So now my wife used to be in what she would consider to be a single woman during the week, a single mother during the week. And on the weekends, I would come home then, and she has to adapt to me. So that was strange. That was stressful on her.
Intruding, right?
Huh?
Did they treat you like you was intruding?
Absolutely. And I was.
No, the truth is,
if you really look at it.
Hold up, real quick. This is a show, and we're gonna nail everything. But you guys both brought up 2 important topics I want to talk about. Talk about how Black families don't know how to deal with trauma issues. I want to get back to that. How we don't practice talking and being vocal and each other and helping one another, because you either suck it up, get over it. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
Especially for men, children.
I can't tell nobody what I go through. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna have sympathy for me. And most other Black men are so busy trying to make a living, they can't stop and listen to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
You want to hear it.
They're not taught to care about us in that way. And the second thing was, I was in prison. I was in prison a long time. And I came home to my kids, and they were older. I come home, dad home, you know what I'm saying? Now, the house dynamic was fucked up. Now, we did all this time, we don't spend it, but now the relationship consists of, now that I'm present, the relationship is off. Like, I'm always in and out of jail. You know that, G. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a story to tell. I always tie it back to that, so I'm gonna use your story that night, how niggas got mad at me. And that's gonna be on. I got a story to tell.
It was a good night. It was a good night too.
It was good. We'll tie it back in. But yeah, so that's true. And then you come home and now you're intruding, man. And for my whole relationship, I've been home for 2 years now. And now that I'm gaining a footing, getting some type of direction in my life, even if it's not financial, it's me. I know who I want to be. Now it's beef. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm intruding again. You know what I'm saying? I'm intruding again. So it's like I had to just back up. Like, that hurts too. Because now I'm sitting at home.
Yeah,
no none. I fucked up already. I can't do nothing about it. That's why I
get it.
Huh?
I get it. It's like, when I was out on the road on the weekend, I would leave Sunday. Monday, my wife would call me up. I miss you so much. I miss you, babe. I can't wait you to get back home. By Wednesday, those phone calls is not coming in like that. Now, Thursday, I'm coming back home. Damn, I wish you back out again because, now I got to tend to you.
You have to learn you all over again, though.
Yeah, you got to learn all over again. But I'm tired as hell. I want to go play basketball. I want to talk to my boys. I want to deal with my daughters. Now I got to deal with you too, but she don't want to deal with me because she don't have to do those things during the week. And all the loving that I'm hearing that on the air, on the phone during the week, and then when I come home, I don't see the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Now we getting somewhere. Okay.
That's a fact. But listen, but see, women and men, because nobody taught us this. Nobody taught a lot of us how to be in relationships and how to coexist with one another. So that's the shit that he's talking about. You have a good perspective, brother. That view, the way you worded it, you didn't help my whole life just now, man. Because I knew I wanted to say that, but I didn't know how to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You said it so cleanly. I want you to keep going.
Yeah, me too. Look, I'm
It's real talk, and I get both sides of it. I get that what she's saying, like, yeah, you know what? You are a single wife or a single mother during the week. I get that you don't have to get up and cook for somebody. You don't have to get up and get dressed up for somebody. You don't have to, perform sex with somebody. You're good. But when I get home, I want all that. And you better perform.
I want to ask you a question, and I'm going to speak on the female's perspective.
Please.
With you guys, was there like an age difference?
No, my wife is about my ex-wife is 6 months older than me.
Okay, so you're pretty close in age. The family dynamics that she had growing up, what kind of family dynamic did she have growing up as a child? Was she raised by a single mother, or did she have both parents, or?
I don't want to talk about her.
Okay, well, excuse me.
No, real talk, because I'll let her speak
okay.
on that. I can't talk.
Respectfully, that could have had a lot to do with not knowing how to be a wife. Because we don't raise these girls. We don't listen. I'm gonna tell you some good stuff. I wasn't raised to be nobody's wife. Okay, I was not raised to be nobody's wife. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I was not raised to be nobody's wife. I was raised to be somebody's mother and the breadwinner. I was taught that a man is not a necessity, he's a want. So if he decides to be a part of your life, that's okay. But for the most part, if he is going to be a part of your life, he has to get with your program. So that's how I was raised. I had to break that cycle early.
A woman said that. Imagine that, G.
Because for the simple fact that I have to say my father was. I'm going to say my mother broke the cycle. I'm not even going to take full responsibility for breaking the cycle, but I'm going to say my mom broke the cycle. But for like growing up with a strong woman that had 5 children with 4 different fathers that raised them all and didn't ask their fathers for anything, but excuse my French, dick when she wanted it.
Right.
That's who raised me. And
that's all. Now that I'm 40, that's all I need. Get out the way.
That's all you're there for. Actually, that's all you're there for.
That's a fact. Let's keep it like that.
But at some point, you got to understand that's why so many of these men children are fucked up. Let's keep it a band. That's why they so fucked up, because they're not taught to be men. They're raised by these women that can actually teach them morals and standards, but how to be a man, she cannot teach them how to do that because she doesn't know what it's like to be a man. So they go out here and they look for role models in the wrong people. Some of them luck up and find good ones, but for the most part, they luck up and find wrong ones. And I had to break that cycle because I had a man child, and I had to understand that, I had to humble myself to be somebody's wife. And I had to teach myself that on my own. Like, you have to be somebody's wife. You have to be strong enough to be submissive.
That's a good thing to say. Now, strong enough to be submissive, because we always look at submissive as being a weakness. So
it's not.
Be submissive. So that's the point of that. Strong enough in yourself to be submissive to your man, because you should know who your man is.
Exactly. So this is what I always say. The man is the head of the household. He's supposed to be the man of the household, but we got to give those responsibilities to those who do respect for it, because some of them just not eligible to be that. But that's our fault because we choose the wrong ones. The man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck, and she can make that head do whatever she wanted to do if
I like that.
She's a strong woman.
I like that.
All right, G, give it up, man. Let's get back to it. Now get back to your story.
I like that.
Yeah, because so what happened with your thing, man? Because you had a perfect view about you intruding and all that, and it took me years to understand that shit.
Mm-hmm. So basically, back to that, 2016, I had that, job. I lost that job, and now I'm home every day with this my wife, and we arguing, we fighting, and now money's an issue. I got severance package. I had a couple of months that I didn't have to work, so I decided to get back on the road. But I'm noticing that my wife and I are going back and forth against each other, and that was actually making us very stressful, actually going insane type of stuff. And then, in 2017, in November, I had that stroke or aneurysm rupture. And I know you asked before, Smash, about what it's like, how you feel. I didn't have no symptoms. I had nothing. I was just talking to my mom.
Wow.
And talking to we was talking about a person that we went to high school with that had a stroke. I'm saying, oh, man, she's pretty young. She's pretty young to have a stroke. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm having mine.
Just like that.
So just like that. And I'm pulling off of the side of the highway, and it's crazy. Sometimes people think I'm kind of insane when I say this, but things started changing. It's like, I don't know if any one of you been through this before, but I knew I was gonna die. I was cool with that. It wasn't like, oh man, I'm gonna die. Why me? How does it feel and anything? you really don't have any precursors that actually tell you that you're about to have a stroke. It just happens, and you just got prepared for it, and it's a downhill struggle from there. So for me, you know, like I was telling you before, I was friends with Demacian, and he survived. You know, he had it, and it basically saved my life because by me knowing what was actually happening to me, I took it seriously because I thought, you know, most people will think it's just a headache and they'll keep on pushing on. And, you know, my stroke didn't kick in yet. It's just my brain bleed was happening. So I was still able to drive on the highway. And, you know, thank God that I pulled over and didn't crash into somebody or kill somebody while driving and having a stroke. So when I pulled over, about 5 minutes later, I was having a stroke. But I didn't know what I was having. I thought I was having a heart attack. That's how I felt. It felt like all my muscles on my left side of my body started tightening up. My chest started tightening up. I'm like, oh, my heart is going. I'm about
And you
to die.
couldn't talk or nothing?
No, I could talk. I never lost the ability to talk. Never lost the ability to talk. It's just what I lost was like my left side of my body stiff. It feels like I have pulled muscles all the time. All the time. My left hand feels like pins and needles all the time.
All the time.
That's
all the time.
crazy. Not meaning to cut you off, but that's happening to me now. Actually, I have feel like I have nerve damage on my left side. My hand is always numb and it always feels like pins and needles. But I actually had a CAT scan and an MRI, and they haven't found anything.
See, that's the thing, right? Pins and needles. And we got sometimes it can be nerves, and then sometimes it's a diabetic stage. So I get pins and needles. When I used to work out and smoke cigarettes and shit, my whole chest would go numb. While I was sleeping, like I was laying on my chest, my whole shit used to go numb. But I already know I got poor circulation, my veins and shit, you know what I'm saying? Tightness in my arms, all that stuff. So I already know I'm pre-diabetic. So, and I'm highly stressed. You know, I'm an intense guy. So when I'm intense, I'm like this right now.
But those are the warning signs that your body's telling you, and then you really have to take heed to that, because right now it's keep on telling you, keep on telling you, keep on telling you, and then sooner or later it's gonna say, you know what, you're not listening.
Not listening.
I'm gonna shut you down.
That's
real
scary part.
All right. So when you had the stroke, what happened? So now you're in the car. You pulled over.
I'm in the car. I had the stroke. And I felt like I'm gonna die, and then, you know, I start talking to God. I'm like, yo, you know, can I stay a little bit longer? Because, you know, I got to teach my daughters a couple more things. And all of a sudden I heard, you know, cool. And everything, you know, all the pain that I had was alleviated. You know what I mean? I was thinking that I wasn't going to make it. I was thinking that, I was like, damn, you know, not to say anything wrong about my wife, but I'm like, damn, I'm about to die. I've never been in true love. I'm like, damn, that's a fucked up feeling.
Oh, hold up, but was you ever in love though?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what happens, and you guys could both agree or disagree with this, but, you know, when you're younger, you know, I married her when I was 25, and, you know, when you're younger, you're not thinking about really life. You're thinking about, oh, I got a woman with me, she's riding with me, you know, we have sex and all that, you know, she's in my crib, boom, 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 boom. But it's not necessarily I'm for her and she's for me. It's just, it was convenience. You know what I mean? We didn't really learn each other, and then we started growing older, and then we're like, oh, I don't like what you doing here. I don't like what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Things change.
That's true, 'cause I used to tell people all the time. I used to tell people all the time, no mean to cut you off. I just want to go to relationship aspect, because this is all good conversation, and this is what people want to hear. So in relationships, I used to tell people, I used to see two couples, like, you know, my ex's parents, they used to be like, you know, upstairs, downstairs. You know what I'm saying? One separate rooms, like they never even slept together. And I was like, yo, this not how life is supposed to be.
Yeah, I can piggyback off that as well, because
two people are strangers to each other after 25 years. I don't know you, you don't know me. Because the conversation, two people stopped talking. Conversation grew hard. So now, you ever hear the story where a girl says, oh man, oh, she was a freak with me, she was taking in a butt, and you're like, damn, we was together 2 years, she ain't none of that with me, because something happened in y'all conversation where she felt scared to tell you that, or he felt scared to tell you that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we get to a point where the conversation gets so hard that we can't even tell each other who we really are anymore?
Or to piggyback off that, it also could be the situation where you two just grow, you meet each other on the same level, and as the time progresses on, one starts to mature and one starts to stay, it's the same person. So now you're not compatible anymore because I'm growing and you're still stagnant, or vice versa. And we're growing apart because I'm not where I was 15, 20 years ago. And we're just not compatible anymore because we're not growing together. And it has a lot to do with what you said, communication.
And yo, G, real quick, do you feel like you grew apart before this started happening? You started realizing that y'all was growing apart?
It wasn't about us growing apart. It was basically being real with each other. I think when we first got together, we wasn't real. You know, a lot of times when you date with a woman and she has a wall up, and all of a sudden she shows
you not being real though.
Huh?
I couldn't imagine you not being real though.
It's not about me being real. It's about this life period. It's like a woman, and see, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but a woman is going to
clarify for the people because we use real people.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it down. A woman, when she gets with a man, you know, if she has a past and she hasn't really conquered that past, she hides that from that man, and she brings up a representative.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that representative is who he likes. And then all of a sudden, she wants to be real with him and tell her everything that's about him, and he's like, "Oh, who the hell is this person here? I'll bring back the other woman." So when you get older, that's when it comes out really truly. And that older woman that you fell in love with, she was a character. She was acting. That wasn't really her. She was just being submissive. So that's the problem that happens. Once you get into that role and then all of a sudden you have kids, you have a house together, what are you going to do now?
Now it's about that and not each other.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Because being high dysfunctional, and I always wanted high dysfunctional to be a his or her show, but, you know, I couldn't get a woman that, you know, Rockland County is such a fucking punk ass town. I love Rockland, but you know, you can't do shit with people. You know what I'm saying? It's always gotta be about fucking and this and that. So it's good that, you know what I'm saying, this is my boy's wife. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's my boy. I love him. So it doesn't matter. He's high dysfunctional just like me, and we can and you know what I'm saying. And he's a weirdo just like me. So that's the beautiful thing. I'm glad that she came back. Cause I was looking for a host for a while, man. And niggas wouldn't get it. So the his or her aspect of the show is beautiful, but I just gotta introduce what I'm doing. And,
well, hold on. Let me explain myself. Yo, T, tell your husband to calm down. I'm just flirting with you on the show, not in real life, baby. All right?
He don't care.
He ain't like
He's
that,
happy.
And he let her come up here, you know what I'm saying? But I make sure I clear with him first.
He's happy. He's happy that somebody else is looking. That's a compliment to him. Never that.
That's what's up.
Never uptight. Never uptight at all.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys are real with each other. You guys have an understanding that, you know, you're doing a job. You're doing whatever you're going to do, and that makes you happy, and he's not tripping off of that.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Once you have that,
and what people fail to realize is you have to have an understanding, because there's certain things about me that I know he doesn't like, and certain things about him that I don't like. But if we change that and start pretending, then we're not who we are. We're bending for somebody else. Be who you are at all times. And if you don't like it, it's either we're going to figure out how we're going to deal with it, or we're going to go our separate ways. And I think the problem is, just not to get too deep, but the problem is, that's the problem. We are in love with the illusion of being in love, and we don't take the time to find out who we think we love. So we got this nigga in our house after 5 years trying to figure out how we're going to get him the hell out of here. And he shouldn't have been there in the first place, because you should have took your time to find out if this is the nigga that you want to have kids with. People say, I hate my baby mama, I hate my baby daddy, this, that, and the third. This bitch ain't shit, this nigga ain't shit. But at some point, they were shit. Because if they wasn't shit, you wouldn't have laid down with them. So it's because we rush. We're the microwave. We're the microwave era. We rush. We want what we want when we want it, and we ignore it. Because if you sit down and you think about it, you see some shit about this nigga before y'all become a couple that you don't like, but you tolerate it because you so infatuated with being in love with that person that you're willing to overlook it. And then when they get in your house and it gets overwhelming, then you mad. But that's what you signed up for, because you
No. Never mind get in the house. You know what I'm saying? Every nigga ain't looking to get in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then I'm talking about the niggas that want to be in, that are in the house, and the bitches that put them in there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
baby girl, don't get mad because this nigga is out there slinging dick. You was like choice number 4. You was just the one that was available at the time. Because none of his other side bitches was putting up with it, but you was. Because you wanted him so bad, and now he in here and you're crying because he dogging you out. Bitch, that's your fault. Sorry.
All right, but let's tie it back. Let's tie it back, and then we come back to that.
Get off the subject.
Yeah, because we got to get the info in. Now, check this out. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's 2 sides to every puzzle. Now, that's 2 people that's fed up with each other. Because both people, if they really cared about each other, will understand that they got things to work on to be with each other. Now, if it's about wanting to be with each other, you guys will put the work and have the conversation. It's necessary for y'all to love each other again. Because it's yes, because as time goes by, life can get in the way, and y'all both can lose sight of what each other's wants and understandings. So it's just not about that simple. Like Chris Rock always said, his stand-up a few years ago, it was called it's the Tambourine, because the key was, in a band, everybody's not the lead singer. But without the drummer, you're not the band. You know what I'm saying? Without the tambourine player, part of the band. So everybody has a role. It ain't just about that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody does have
hold up. I got friends. Like, personality is the gift. They bring certain people around them. I got friends, like I'm not a friendly guy. So nobody wants to come hang out with me because I might be, yo, what the fuck you doing?
You cool, son. You cool.
No, I'm still cool, but that's not my gift. And then you got the friend that everybody goes over their house. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay, I got it.
Now, he could be a piece of shit too, but that's his gift. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a gift, so everybody has a role to play in the relationship.
Exactly, but it just goes back to
hold up. America will have you feel like it's just about money and financial shit. But sometimes the person is the gift.
But it just goes back. It goes right back to what you just said, though. It goes right back to what you just said, because it's the same. It's the same instance when you actually, like I say, you meet a person a certain time of your life, and there are things that you can tolerate. But just because you're in love with somebody, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be miserable. You can love somebody and not like them.
True indeed.
So you got to take the good with the bad. If the bad outweighs the good, I don't care how much you love somebody. If they're detrimental to your health, if they're physically abusive, if they're mentally abusive.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. We're not.
Yeah, we're talking about
little things, because those are the things that matter. We're not talking about people whooping your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
We're talking about people that just not working. Because when you're in love, you got to work to be in love.
Of course.
There's sometimes I look at a relationship, I'm like, yo, that's why. But I'm mad. I can tell her everything she did. You know what I'm saying? But I can also realize I didn't do X, Y, and Z too. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being serious with myself, I got to hold myself accountable and say, well, I ain't do this shit either. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we look for in a man, being accountable.
And when the girl talks, she usually just tell you the bad part,
the
breakup. They talk about the breakup. They don't talk about how you got to the breakup, how y'all got to lying to each other, how y'all got to manipulating each other. All you manipulation.
Yeah, because us as women, we don't never do nothing. It ain't never our fault. And I'm gonna say that as a woman, it ain't never our fault. But you gotta look at yourself. Like,
yeah, I'm glad we're recording this.
Yeah,
I've never heard a woman admit that before in my life.
It's good perspective.
Bitch, it ain't never our fault. But then you gotta sit back and that's why my girlfriends don't like to talk to me. That's why I don't have no girlfriends, and this is why. Because when they come to me and they come to me with some bullshit, I'm just unapologetically real. Like, what did you do? You forgot the man came home from work, you wouldn't cook nothing. You forgot he came home to a nasty house. You forgot all that, and then you wonder why he laying up with Susie over there because she feeding him. She, like I said, I want to be a lady, but at the end of the day, when I'm dealing with how dysfunctional the lady shit go out the door, she sucking his dick when he wanted suck. You know what I'm saying? She doing everything that you ain't doing at the house because I'm tired, or fuck that shit, I don't suck dick, or fuck that shit, that nigga could cook his own food. So you gotta be accountable for the shit that you contribute to him doing too. Some niggas just ain't shit. They gonna go out there and fuck. But you have some men that a woman can push them out the door because she's not holding up her end of the bargain as being his woman.
But everything you're saying to me, T, and Rod, all that stuff to me is irrelevant, really,
Right.
honestly, because one thing we're not really considering when we get into a relationship with somebody, and even when you get married, nobody really teaches this stuff. What happens if one of you guys gets sick?
That's what the for better or for worse is all about. If
Right.
They don't really teach that. They say better for worse. That's the only time you hear that. You want
That's
to hear
the
like,
words.
well, what if you have to, your husband or wife has to have a folio bag and got to piss every day inside of a bag. Now,
Then
how you
you
gonna
have
handle
to,
it?
then you have to, first of all, you have to pray about it. You have to ask for some type of guidance. You have to ask, if you're not physically strong enough, you have to have some type of guidance to where as you learn how to cope with it. But you don't leave a person high and dry because they're at their low.
It's not even that. It's that we're not trained that way. If you're not trained that way and that comes about, that's a shock to the system. And
Right.
and like for me, when it happened to me, I knew what my wife wanted in life. I knew what my wife wanted in life. I knew where she wanted to go. And now this happened to me. I'm like, you can't do that anymore because I'm holding you back. And we're fighting each other and you're not really in love with me. So now, am I a burden to you? Because now you're staying with me because I'm at my lowest point? That's not fair.
World Stroke Day. You had a stroke. Talking to stroke survivor. You had a stroke. What happened after that? Family, you, your wife. What goes down?
So yeah, basically when this happened to me, my mind wasn't right. I like to say there's 3 different phases after you have a stroke. The first phase or the first step is you have those separation of grief or anguish, the same type of thing. The first thing is that you're in disbelief, like, dang, this happened to me and now I can't work anymore. I can't function like I used to function. I can't go play basketball. And Ron, you could attest to this as well. Just imagine you being who you are and all of a sudden you can't protect your family.
That hit home right there. Go ahead.
Yo,
Yeah, you can't do that. I'm walking with my daughters. They had the Super Bowl in Atlanta about 2 years ago. I'm walking with my daughters. It's a big crowd, and I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death that somebody could pick up my daughter and run. What can I do? I can't do anything. But before, I'm gonna smash a person's teeth out. I can't do that anymore.
You know what?
You know
I talked to Smitty.
So psychologically,
Smitty did the same thing.
that's killing me.
Right. Smitty said the same thing. Smitty said the same thing when he's trying to walk his kid up a hill to Syracuse game. And he couldn't do it. And he's like, damn, if something happened, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finished. You know what I'm saying? Finished. Ain't nothing I can do. I'm helpless. Somebody can just run up on me and just do whatever they want to me.
And you know what? And why I say that hit home with me, because the last 2 years of my father's life, he was wheelchair bound and couldn't talk due to a stroke. And when it got to the end, he actually had to sit us down and ask us to just please let him go because he felt like he was worthless. This is coming from a man that was totally active, played 3 sports, was always on the move, never sat down, and now he's wheelchair bound and he can't speak. The only thing he could do is nod his head. So he had to kind of figure out how to communicate with us to ask us if we could just let him go because he was actually ready to go because he felt worthless. And we had to cope with that, how to cope with him being away from us. But at the end of the day, me personally, my siblings don't feel like this, but me personally, I feel like he's in a better place. And I'm more at peace now than I was when he was in that wheelchair because I know he's at peace.
And I could probably speak on the behalf of your father and how he was thinking. He's like, I don't want to be a burden anymore. I don't want to be a burden to you. And I want to do these things. I want to be able to provide, but I can't. I'm seeing it destroy you. Yeah. This is what's going through my head. This is what goes through a lot of stroke victims' heads. Now, this is the mental start that's coming into play now. We're getting depressed at stage 2. And a lot of people stay in that stage 2 format because, A, they can't move. They get depressed and their body not moving. And now they're looking around and like, okay, I know you want to do this, but I can't do that with you, so you can't do it. I'm taking away from your life. Mm-hmm. These are things that we don't actually, talk about before it happens. we talk about it after it happens. That's why I'm saying we have to be more proactive on that particular aspect of life. Like we just think about, hey, I'm sexy, you're sexy, you know, we like to climb mountains, we're good. But we're not talking about when everything goes downhill. What happens then? We just can't just react to it. And it's like, you know, a lot of people say just pray. Praying, okay, I get that, but it's happening right now.
Yeah, what's next? And at the end of the day, you never know. You can't, I'm going to say for myself, I can't speak on it because you never know what kind of, you don't never know what you would do if you were put in that situation. So
Right.
I really can't say what should be done or what shouldn't be done because I have never experienced it. I mean, I've seen my mother go through it with my dad. And you know, she was all in and nobody
Let
said
me
that.
ask you something. Let me ask you, before you even go further on that, T, with your mom, did you see a change in it? Was she depressed? Was she stressed out? Was she almost out of her mind?
No, no, she wasn't. She was a soldier. Like she held it down. You know what I mean? If she felt that way, she never let us know. She never expressed it to us. So it could have been just a shield that she had up, trying to be the stronger person, or she really was built like that. I really don't know because she never showed a sign of weakness, you know, to us. It was like
And a lot of people are not built that way.
she was
They're
all
not.
in. So I don't know if that's just her build or if she, you know, I'm sure she had her moments, but she rode the whole time. Because just going back a little bit on the history, my dad has always had health issues. You know,
Right.
in 2015, he had a triple bypass. He had to have stents put in his leg. My dad was on dialysis for 19 years. So he's always had, but the thing about it, the stroke was what sat him down because even with the dialysis for 19 years and the triple bypass heart surgery, he was still able to push on. So she was already in go mode because he's had issues. He had cancer. My dad had cancer in 2010, colon cancer, and he's a survivor. He you know, he conquered cancer. So he had an extensive length of health issues, but none of that slowed him down. The only thing that stopped him in his tracks was the stroke. So she was already in go mode.
It prepared you.
Shout out to the real high dysfunction. Yo, Greg, check this out. So you had the stroke, right? So did you get help? You in the car. So how the fuck did you get out the car?
So, you know, when I was there, I'm in the middle of Kentucky, right next to Louisville, an hour away from Louisville. So the paramedics came and got me. They pulled me out the car. They was like, you know, and I'm in the middle of the highway, actually. I'm on the side of the road. And they say, you know, walk. I couldn't walk. I didn't know I couldn't walk, but I couldn't walk. So I almost fell into the highway, almost hit into ongoing traffic. And they pulled me up, took me to the hospital. And I got to the hospital. It was crazy. I'm seeing all these nurses and doctors. I never passed out in anything. And they did a CAT scan on me. They told me, it's like, oh, you had a stroke. I didn't even know what a stroke was at that time. That's another problem that we have in our society too. We don't know what it really is. You know, I didn't know what it was. And they said they can't do anything for me at that particular hospital. They have to transport me to Louisville. That was an hour away. I'm like, I know where Louisville is, and I know I might not make that. And so they got me a helicopter and flew me over to Louisville.
And then, serious. So they gave you good service. They reacted fast.
So then, you know, they call up my wife at the time, and she's picking up my kids from school, and the 911 operator is talking to them. And basically, I'm knowing that she's talking to the 911 operator. I'm like, damn, my kids and my wife is gonna hear that I'm about to die. I'm losing it right now. I'm 600 miles away from my house. My kids, I can't see them, but they hearing that their daddy's about to die. My kids was like 11 and 12 at that time, and I'm going ballistic. So they fly me over to Louisville, and they perform a surgery to clot up my clot or my bleed in my head through my groin. It went through my groin and went through a vein all the way to my brain.
Let me just say something about the brain thing, because people don't know. Every minute you are at risk of getting brain damage when you have because the blood, the circulation is not going in. So it could be permanent. This is what happens to people when they have a stroke. Like my grandmother, she couldn't talk, you know what I'm saying? To the point that she'll sound like this when you walk in the room. Like, and, you know, she lost all her limbs. She was stubborn, you know what I'm saying? She was a strong woman, man. And rest in peace, Nanny. Rest in peace, Grandma. Y'all know as Nanny.
Rest in peace.
See that shit? Because she's trying to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? But she can't talk. So, but you know she's trying to reach you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, stop, please, stop talking, please. 'Cause I can't. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Don't say nothing. Just because it hurts so bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people don't know that. So I just want people to know how serious it is and what it does to your faculties.
But I'm telling you, I don't know if that might have been the right approach for you to do for her. You know, for
no,
you,
it wasn't.
Listen what I'm saying.
A kid. I was
no,
selfish.
listen what I'm telling. I get what you're saying to me, but listen what I'm telling you. She didn't think that she couldn't talk. She thought that she was getting her information out to you. Everything was perfectly clear in her mind. It's just some of her motor skills couldn't get that out, and that puts you back in depression. Like, damn, nobody can understand me. You know what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We have to really think about that. Like, you know, I saw this guy that had aphasia. That's what your grandmother had. She had aphasia. She couldn't talk. I saw a guy that had aphasia, and I was in the nurse's office and or doctor's office, and a lady came up to him and talked to him, and he was like, and she was asking, where did you work before? And he was like, I worked at Home Depot. And then she started talking like how he was like a little child. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking to him like that? He's not a little child. He just can't articulate his words. He's a grown man. So now when you start doing it, we start thinking to ourselves, damn, I'm worthless.
That's the hardest thing to do, though.
That's
like,
some mean shit to do.
It's hard to pretend like you're okay when you see your loved one like that. You know, that's hard. Because, I mean, with my dad, I used to laugh and joke and make jokes with him, and all he would do is nod. He could, and it hurt me so bad, but I had to pretend like, you know, everything is okay. I had to be myself around him, and it ate me alive. Like, to have to pretend that I'm okay, and I see you in the state that I've never seen you before. My dad, 6'3", 260 pounds. He was 160 pounds when he died. You know, and so that hurts the most. So I can understand what he's saying. You have to kind of stay normal when it comes down to when you communicate with them, because that does make them feel bad when you.
It takes a certain level of compassion. Somebody has to really care.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about to get to. So you're in the hospital, you're going through these things.
We on.
Shout out to the Real High Dysfunction. Got the Southern Bella T. I got the Avian Superhero. And I listen to the show. Got my boy Greg Graham, Superhero. And we got to tie back into football because I'm going to get all that stuff in the way. But let's get back to this because I got to get that segment too. So you in the hospital? Yeah, because he's on my list. I'm making these jackets. I'm designing shit for us. So this is a project I'm doing. And I want people to buy us, man. I want people to buy us. Go get your local.
Absolutely.
Buy us, my nigga. And that's what I'm trying to do. Everybody that was a legend, everybody did their thing. I'm trying to make clothes.
Okay, Anointed Cuts, natural stylist, 20 years in. Been doing this all my life, half my life, I should say. Come see me for natural hair care, all that. Anointed Cuts, New York.
We in this together. We all trying to do something. We all trying to spread a message.
Absolutely.
You're in the hospital, your family, you're in the hospital, so go get to that.
So yeah, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. My family lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm about 600 miles away. I'm by myself. You know what I mean? My wife at the time, she took an air flight out there, a one flight, come out there to get me, boom, boom, check me out, boom, 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 boom. But, you know, we had issues already. So I'm delusional. You know, I got, you know, people coming in, like Hamadi came in with his mom and my mom. And the first thing I told him, I was like, yo, Hamadi, go get the dead bodies outside. He's like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, I killed a couple people before I got here. Go get those dead bodies. And I'm saying this in front of my moms, his moms, the doctors. They all looking at me like, what the heck is going on? My mom was playing tricks.
What is going on?
Yeah, I'm bugging out.
Oh, you said that?
I dead ass said that.
Oh, I thought that was the code word to go hide the phone.
No.
I'm crippled. Go get the phone.
No, I said that dead ass. I pulled him close. I was like, yo, Marty, come here. Go get the dead body. He looking at me like he didn't know how to answer me. I'm like, dead body.
Your shit is discombobulated.
Yeah, I'm gone. But there was 4 things that happened to me, T and Rashid. One was I have what's called hydrocephalus. That's basically when you have a brain bleed, and then your brain fluid can't transfer into your spinal fluid. So then your head starts swelling. So they put a shunt in my head that takes the brain fluid and brings it all the way down into my stomach. So that's one thing I have, and I have that for life. I have some kind of mechanical thing inside of my head. Two, I had pneumonia. On the operating table, I started aspirating. So I couldn't swallow. The technique for me to swallow wasn't allowing it to go into my stomach. It was going right into my lungs.
So basically, your brain is not even operating right at all.
Right. Everything's jacked.
Whack. It's everything's
jacked.
Wow.
And
that's some scary shit.
I'm in the hospital for 2 weeks, and they have my hands tied up to the bed because I was pulling my feeding tube out. Because people was telling me, you look good, Greg. I'm like, yeah, I am good. So I pulled my feeding tube out. So they took that out and tied me to the bed. So I'm laying in the bed for 2 weeks. Can't move. I can't take a shit as a prisoner, pretty much, because for my own safety, they said.
Save your life, yeah.
Pretty much. But I was isolated up there for about 6 weeks.
Wow.
So this is the thing that I'm trying to drill home to people. There's two things. The first thing, let me just get this up and then we can go through. The first thing is, people, relationships don't plan properly for this type of stuff. So if you in a relationship with your lady or with your man and you arguing all the time and it's on petty stuff, like as soon as you see that person, you're already upset before they even say a word, you're wasting time. You're wasting time because time is not guaranteed. I guarantee you that. I did not think that day that this was going to happen to me. So me and my wife was arguing the night before, and then all of a sudden, boom, this happens to me. So now I'm looking at them like, damn, I don't really, I'm upset with you, but now I need you to help me to live. And you're upset with me, but now you need to be with me to show faith that you're going to help me out. That's BS. You have to get rid of all that negative energy and just deal with each other as you are so you can move forward.
So how would you handle, I mean, I have seen, I've known a person, it's not all the time, but I know a person that was in the outs with their companion and they had a terrible, terrible accident that drew her back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of her, like, it was like, that made her put everything out of the window, that all the disagreements, everything they was going through, for her, she went back and actually took care of her husband and, nursed him back to health. He was in a very bad accident and that what drew her to come back. So I guess it's the mental of the individual, I guess.
Did he have brain damage?
No, he lost all motor skills. I think he had now one of his legs is amputated from the accident, but he was in a coma, not like for months or nothing, maybe like he went out a couple of times, maybe he stayed in a coma for like a week or so, but it made her, to where she was in outrage with him, like she didn't want to have, like she was almost on the verge of leaving him, but with that accident is what drew their marriage back together, and they're still together to this day, and that happened like 10 years ago. But she went back and took care of her husband, nursed him back to health, and they got back on track once he got.
Ain't that Tyler Perry movie? What's that Tyler Perry movie?
But she left him. She left him.
She took care of him first, though.
She left him, but
that's the thing.
It does that have like it probably is because of the individual's mental or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I think so because my ex-wife, she wanted to do that, but at that time, like I was already hallucinating. I was already having issues. Like this happened to me in 2017. I'm finally at a place that I am calm. I can focus. I can think. During that time, I was in a like this took like 3 years for me to actually get to this place that I am right now. I was in a
journey, brother. It's a journey.
Yeah, I was in a fog. It wasn't about. I don't even care about my body. My body is relevant because I know I could get strong again. That's easy for me. I've been an athlete. I could work. I could get that. but my mind, I never worked on my mind. So I had to really work on that. And what she was doing, not anything wrong that towards a person, is I didn't think the same way anymore. When I had the stroke, I told her straight up, like, the person you knew before died. He's not coming back. I'm a different person. My mental state is totally different.
Were you like,
Couldn't to that.
Were you mean to her?
That's heavy,
like
brother.
Difficult to be helped? Do you
Oh
think
yeah,
that
I'm different. I'm so different. I'm so different. I have no filter. Like Ross talking about highly dysfunctional, and he talks and he just spit whatever out of his mouth. I do that all the time. I don't have any filter anymore. So the problem is people don't understand that I don't care anymore.
Okay.
I don't care.
That's a freedom.
Yeah.
And we want to, it's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing.
It's not negative. And that's the problem. Like T, like for instance, I got on the show earlier, right? And I was playing around with you. I was flirting with you and all that. I was just being funny. But if that upsetted you and you didn't tell me, I would have kept on going. You know what I mean? But if you tell me like, oh, gee, that's kind of disrespectful, da 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 da, then I'm like, oh, Snoop, I need to slow that down. I don't think that way. I don't really get that concept. And a lot of people see me and see, like Smash said earlier, yo, gee, when I look at you, you look great. You look fine. I'm not great. I'm not fine. When this happened to me, my mind turned back to an 18-year-old kid. And my body feels like I'm a 6-year-old person. And I'm stuck in a 40-year-old body.
Okay.
So I'm trying to cope with all three of those things at one time. And she didn't understand that. That was the issue. So, I hear what you're saying with that person, they had that, major accident, but if their mind was fine, then they didn't really have to deal with this.
I can see that. I can see that. Like I said, it just takes a certain individual to be able to deal with it, So I can understand that. Because we always say what the next person should have done or could have done or why didn't she. But if you're not put in that position, you can't really speak on it.
You don't know. And the sad thing about it, this is what actually happens. You're in the hospital. Everybody, Rashid could talk about this. Everybody like, oh, gee, he had a stroke, blah, 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 he's in the hospital. And everybody's giving all these things to you, like, yo, gee, what's good? You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. But nobody's thinking about my ex-wife. She's going through hell. She's going to literal hell. Like, she's trying to figure out now, boom, I haven't worked in 10 years. I got to work now. I got kids to take care of. I got a grown-ass man. I got to wipe his ass.
And life took a dramatic shift.
Oh, shift.
Dramatic shift.
Wow. And nobody's helping her. You know what I mean? People call me up, yo, gee, you good? Yeah, I'm good. But nobody's calling my wife and asking if she's good. Nobody's. I had a couple people come over and cook and clean, but nobody's really dealing with her.
But
this is what these caregivers go through.
Not to cut you off, but I can say now that you mentioned that, I can honestly say that may be why my mom was able to cope, because my sister, when my dad got sick, she moved back home to help my parents. So that may be why. Yeah, she left. She was living 2 hours away. She left her apartment, packed up her husband, and they moved back into my parents' house to take care of my dad, to help my mom take care of my dad.
And real quick.
Go ahead.
Whenever you do something for, and whether you're the caretaker, whether you're the breadwinner, it's always some type of struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ever watch the movie? You ever see the movie She Hate Me? Jim Brown is in the movie, and Jim Brown has diabetes. And he's still Jim Brown. Jim Brown. Jim Brown is still Jim Brown. Whatever he plays is Jim Brown. You know what I'm saying? Jim Brown ain't nobody else. But he has diabetes, so obviously his shit ain't working. You know what I'm saying? His joint ain't working. So, but they, to the point, they still married. They live together. They raise their kids or whatever. And the story's about the son, but the son comes over because he's having trouble. Basically, because he's so, like you said, the burden on his wife. He was ashamed, so he just stay out the way. He didn't know what to do, and she hates him because of what's happening to them. But she loves him, so she can't leave him. So they fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's gonna leave. He's down in the base, he's like, what you think? What the fuck you think I want? You think I want diabetes? You know what I'm saying? He's bugging out, like, just leave. And she not gonna leave. She loves him. They spent the whole life together. The kids are old now, you know what I'm saying? You had to see She Hate Me. If you didn't, that's the Spike Lee movie. We always plug Black. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what she's dealing with. And that's what you're talking about. So they have these fights all the time. And that's what happens. Like coming home from prison and trying to get your life off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? You go back home, you're a woman, you ain't got no job, no nothing. Parole, you go here, there, do everything. And as a man, you gotta have a sense of self before you can love your woman. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get yourself
and vice versa. And you can't. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you got kids, you out of jail, you can't make enough money to do anything. You know what I'm saying? This shit wears on your brain. So a lot of times, two people that love each other, it's not the love. It's the things that we're not trained to deal with around us. And that's what I'm saying. And what you're saying, that affect that relationship between the breadwinner and sometimes the woman's a breadwinner, and sometimes we start abusing the people we love because they going through things that they can't fucking help. You got with somebody out of prison. Fuck you thought was gonna happen. You was gonna hit the
prison dude.
His mind was. I came home from jail, bro. You said my mind was different. Couldn't change it. But the thing was, I didn't admit that to myself. So I hurt myself more by trying to stay around, knowing my mind is different. I became drinking. I'm sniffing coke. You know what I'm saying? I'm ruining my fucking life because I know I'm different. It's not me no more. But I'm trying to hold on and stay there because I'm trying to do the right thing. My kids, whatever the case may be. And I'm killing myself. Literally destroying myself. And the more I destroy myself, the more I hurt them. So after a while, I got to the point where I'm just like, yo, I got to get the fuck out of here.
That's what I do.
Go, and we can't see each other no more. We can't hear each other no more. If I say something, you don't hear. Because I hurt you so much, you're only dealing with the pain I caused you. And I'm only dealing with the pain I'm dealing with. So now, we both like, fuck it, but that's what I'm talking about. Everything ain't that simple. Some people, life is complex. We're all dealing with shit. We're all trying to make things work, man. And sometimes two people that love each other don't hate each other. It's that life intervenes, man. People intervene. Circumstances intervene.
Right.
If y'all ain't got the right tools to deal with shit, and I ain't never been taught shit, fam. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn everything the hard way, fam. You know what I'm saying? Everything, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Every dumbass thing I did in life, motherfucker. Nobody told me shit. So it's bad, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
I agree.
That makes complete sense.
I agree totally, 100%. I agree. And people have to understand too, what works for me don't work for you. So you can say I'm a nut ass bitch for doing this, but it's some stuff that you probably do that I look at you like you a nut ass bitch. So you can't always put yourself in other people's positions because you don't know what they got going on. You know, I might not be able to tolerate that, and you might be able to. So you can't say. Sometimes people, you know, different people, different things, you know, and people are always quick to say, well, if I was you, I wouldn't. You can't say
always
that.
In somebody's relationship.
You can't say that. And you need to stop giving advice to people that have in a relationship for them nosy ass friends. Stop giving advice.
Mind your fucking business.
If your friend wants to vent, you listen. Don't talk.
Listen. Don't talk.
Don't talk.
I applaud that too. No doubt.
Just listen. Don't talk, because she already know what she got at the house. You ain't got to tell her. She knows. So
they don't know.
You're making it worse by keep rubbing it in her nose that she ain't got shit at the house. She knows that. So you just sit back and you listen and you say, okay, well, whatever you decide, I'm with you. My grandma used to tell me all the time. She used to tell us all the time, if you love somebody, you don't never bring nothing to them that's gonna hurt them. So if you see somebody out there, man out there doing something they ain't got no business doing, 9 times out of 10, she already know. If it's not,
she don't want to hear that shit.
If it's not detrimental to your health, mind your business. You don't sit up and tell people what they got going on. If this nigga getting ready to come over here with a shotgun about to blow your brains out, look, bitch, you need to leave. He got a gun. But stuff like that, you mind your own business, because if you love somebody, you don't want to see them in pain. So I used to tell my friends all the time, and they could never understand why. I used to tell my friends all the time. I was married. I was married for 16 years. I used to tell my friends all the time, you see my husband out there fucking, don't come back and tell me. I don't want to know.
Yo, facts. Shout out to the real.
I don't want to know.
That is real.
Right here.
And you know why I
That
don't
is
want to
real.
know? Because I may be in a position in my life where I'm not ready to leave him yet. And with me knowing, it's going to make me look dumb for staying there. So if I'd rather not know. Like I said, if he fucking a bitch that got HIV or something, come tell me. Like, yo, you need to get yourself checked out. But just to be messy, don't come tell me no petty shit like you see my nigga grinding on somebody at the club. I wasn't there. I don't need to know that. Because at the end of the day, he might talk some good shit and both of us might flip on your ass. So just be quiet.
I'm gonna tell you something. Every man gonna go in the club and grind on some good ass.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they niggas do at the club. And you don't think we do that too? When we get a little tipsy with whatever we drink and we think we cute.
No, y'all ain't get
we,
tipsy. Y'all just pissed off. Y'all just pissed off. You not be tipsy.
We
just
might
pissed off.
kind of, shake a little more ass than we supposed to if we out there in the club. So why are you running back telling people what's going on? Like I said, if I wasn't there, don't tell me. I'm not going through your cell phone. I'm not going nowhere where you at, because nigga, you know where you live. If I gotta go get you, you don't want to.
Girl, you a star. Man, I got a motherfucking star, man. I'm so excited.
But hold on, Rob. But T, let me let you know something, and you tell all your girlfriends as well too. Whenever you're upset with your man like that and you want to go out drinking, make sure you let us know that we could go to the club and grind up on your ass. All right?
Okay, so this is what happens when I get mad with my man. I get tattoos.
Okay.
I'm 45 years old. If I never see another club, I'll be all right. I've been to enough.
Just let us know. Give me a text and I'll be there.
I'm like, yo, I'm about to call my niggas. Fuck you, nigga. I'm going to the club with my dudes.
Quick.
Fuck you, niggas.
World Stroke Day. Yo, G. I'm having too much fun. I gotta get serious right now. World Stroke Day.
Sorry.
All right, so check it out. So you come back home, you're going through what you're going through, y'all struggling. So what was when did you say, or when did y'all say it's time to go?
So
that has to be recovery.
It was me. It was me. It wasn't her, it was me. And when I was in the hospital, my mom came in and I told my mom, I'm like, yo, I don't know what's gonna happen after this. I don't know where I'm gonna live. So you're gonna go live with your wife? I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. We're not there. So and I could say that I was foolish when I did this, but I knew it had to be done, because before all this was happening, we was talking about separation. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden this happened, like, now we're stuck with each other. That's not cool. So I get home.
Don't do me no favors.
Right. I get home. I tell my wife.
Her free, like, listen, live your life.
Pretty much.
Very unselfish, though. That was an unselfish act.
But she didn't see it that way. She didn't see it that way. She's like, yo, life has changed. Like what you was talking about earlier, T, with your homegirl. Life has changed. It's time to get serious. I'm like, yeah, you see it that way, that it's time to get serious. I see it as I'm done wasting time. I know my time is counted, and I know a minute's are short. I'm not wasting time if you don't want to be with me and I don't want to be with you. I want to find love. I want to find that real woman. I want to find that real person, and you want to find that real man. So no hard feelings, baby. I love the hell out of you. You birthed two of my children. Let's go. You want to go your way? I go my way. We're good. But she didn't see it that way. Yeah, that's all I cared about. Like I said, you asked Rashi, well, is this a spiritual thing? Things different. I'm like, yeah, things are completely different for me now. Jealousy, and I didn't say this earlier, but when this was happening to me, and I thought I was gonna die, I didn't have anger, I didn't have jealousy, I didn't have any upset, any negative energy inside of me whatsoever. So at that point, I said to myself, if I get past this, I'm not gonna live that way anymore. No way I'm gonna be sitting down and arguing with somebody and we don't even know why we arguing. Not doing it. Not doing
arguing
it.
And don't know why you argue.
Wow.
Let my kids think that's right, or it's the normal for people that love each other to argue with each other every day.
Fight, yeah.
Nope.
And I be going through that too, man. When I see them say arguing, I'm like, yo, why the fuck am I arguing, man? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I constantly say that. She's like, why the fuck am I arguing, B? Nigga, You literally don't have to talk to me, my nigga.
And I don't argue.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't argue.
And my thing is this: people have to learn and understand how each other talks. There's love languages and all, and that's a deeper thing. We'll get to that later. But my voice is rough. A lot of people hear how you sound. And like G's a little bit more, you know, Swift a little bit more, you know, I want to say, got a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more life experience with talking. And, you know, he's been a professional. He done had a couple high-level positions, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's still filtered. But you know how I talk, man. I talk the way I talk. If I talk like this for 10 fucking years, misunderstand me now. You understand? Because if you misunderstand me now, you ain't never understood me. Then what are we talking about? Our job is to understand each other. Don't project your way of life on me.
My grandma used to tell me,
two people living life together.
You can tell somebody to kiss you.
Nobody want to hurt nobody, my nigga. We might end up hurting each other, but nobody want to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
So people trying to figure life out and do the best that we fucking can.
Yeah.
I can't talk to you in my language. I gotta act like I'm fucking at a job interview. That pisses me off. No, this is how I talk, just like this. Motherfucker, yeah, nigga, this is me. This is me. This ain't them. This is me, baby.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up. And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up is because people get a misconception of what positive energy and negative energy is. They automatically assume negative energy if someone's cursing at them or someone's yelling. It's not necessarily that.
Mm-hmm.
That person could be yelling to try to save your life.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's not about that. It's not about the communication. It's about listening and taking away your preconceptions of what a person is supposed to talk like and just listen to their message.
That's what I'm trying to say right there.
Help me
That's what I meant.
that part.
That's what you can do for me.
I need y'all to help me understand that part.
That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all help me understand that part, because that's the struggle I have. You know what I'm saying? I have to struggle with the way you talk to me, the way you handle me. So so help me out. Do I have to just chunk it up to that's how he speaks or that's how they talk and not necessarily take it so personal? Because I can't stand somebody to yell and get like aggressive with me. Because I'm
aggressive.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not an arguer. I don't argue. I'd rather be quiet. Hold
on, T. I'm kind of mad at Smash right now. He's eating and everything, drinking, and we starving up in here. You know what I mean? He ain't ordering no Uber Eats for us or nothing, man. You know, I'm hot underneath this daggone light right now for like an hour. He didn't give me no food.
Man, this is my best show yet, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. We done covered a lot of ground, and I'm fucking feel sorry for Well Stroke Day because we fucking.
No, we touched on it.
No, we didn't do that at all.
We did.
Yo, we did so much good conversation, man. We gonna give so much advice on here. I've learned so much talking to you guys. I've learned about myself. And shit, man, this is beautiful shit, man. I can't wait till they see this shit, man. Now I really because you gave so much in-depth stuff. Now I gotta edit this shit and put the imagery to it. Because I was gonna be like, I'm putting it out just like this.
We ain't done yet, homie. We got more. I want to answer T's question, homie. I'm still upset because you didn't give me any chicken, dog. Man, come on, man. You didn't even respond to that.
How you just functional cooking show? You be here cooking. Talking shit. We cook, eat, talk. That's what we do here. We cook, eat, and talk.
This is how it's supposed to be. Like honestly, like you guys are talking to me. And you're not really talking down to me. You're not looking at me like, oh, poor Greg, he had a stroke. You're talking to me like a human being. And this is how conversations are supposed to be, even with anybody. You're supposed to be able to listen. Like right now, you hear Rashid talking and he's yelling, sometimes he's cussing. It doesn't offend you, T, because you don't have any sting behind it, because you don't have any bad animosity towards them. If you keep that same animosity from whatever person you're talking to and they yelling at you, that's when this thing comes in.
Right.
You have to release that. You have to release it. Once you release that, you're good. So how he's talking, you know he talks that way. It's not about he's trying to talk down to you. He's not trying to degrade you. It's just you're mad at something he did 4 or 5 years ago. He doesn't even understand that he did something to you that's messing you up.
You're already mad.
No, I'm saying like it could be a stranger. No, it could be a stranger. And if the way you handle me, that's how I react. it don't even have to be like somebody I love or somebody that I deal with on a regular basis. I'll get pissed off if somebody walk past me and the way they say, like, if they're, you know, they could look back at me and they could say something. I never met this person a day in my life, but it's the way that you handle me. Like, I don't like disrespectful people. So I get pissed off if I'm standing somewhere and somebody walk past me and they bump me or don't say excuse me. I don't care about the bump part. Like, I know mistakes happen, so I'm not gonna bug out because you bump me. But acknowledge that you bump me and say excuse me. Or if I'm standing in a line and you act like you don't see me here and you reaching over me while I'm looking at well,
that's disrespectful.
The hamburger meat or some shit, and you not saying excuse me, you reaching. Oh, I have a problem with that. Or if you're yelling and we're trying to have get some clarity in our conversation, and you're yelling, nobody's listening, everybody's trying to talk over each other. I get offended with that.
After a while, ain't no more talking because believe me, everything that happened started out as a conversation.
And I'm not a talker.
You know how they say, what makes you laugh, make you cry? It was funny then.
Yeah, I don't argue.
Yeah, that's
what
happens.
Like to argue. And the main reason why I don't like to argue is because I don't want to say, because I'm never sorry. Just be clear. I'm a female to the heart. I'm never sorry. So if I said it, I meant it. You get what I'm saying? But I'm careful with my words because I know I have that attitude. So I don't want to say something in a heated argument that I'm going to have to take back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if we yelling, you throwing shots at me, I don't want to throw no shots at you because I'm going to have to apologize. When I say it, just know that's what I meant and I'm not sorry. So, you know, that's what I mean by that. Like, people get mad and they say shit to hurt you, just throw out, you know, stuff just to hurt your feelings. I'm not like that because I remember that shit you said. You know what I'm saying? Oh, remember when you talk? I remember that shit you said, and you be like, oh, I said it when you was mad. I was mad. No, you meant that shit. And they may not have meant it, but I'm thinking from my perspective. You get what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, you meant that shit.
Let's bring it back. A stroke occurs when the blood supply to the part of your brain is interrupted or reduced, preventing brain tissue from getting oxygen and nutrients. Brain cells begin to die in minutes. It is a medical emergency. Prompt treatment can be crucial. Early action can reduce brain damage. So when you think about somebody with a stroke, think of brain damage. I think you see somebody that's a vegetable, or I don't know how to say that, so I'm not, because I'm going to be wrong anytime I say it. Think about brain damage, man, and what a stroke can do to you. Think about what we deal with, battling diabetes, heart disease,
high cholesterol.
So let's go. Shout out to the real. So
what do you, let me ask you, so what would you suggest for someone that is like getting some of the symptoms? Because like you said, your body starts telling you different things. It starts showing you little signs. What would be your suggestion to somebody that's starting to see these little signs? Like,
listen to your body.
Yeah, as with your body, what would be some of the things that you would have like suggest to them to start doing to kind of not really prevent it, but to slim the chances of you having a stroke?
Listen to your body. A lot of people don't listen to their body. Like, for instance, when you eat, right after you eat, you could tell if your body is rejecting that food or not. If it's making you nauseous, if it's making you, have headaches, if it makes your stomach feel funny, you're like, dang, I shouldn't eat that food. That's messing me up. So listen to your body. If you know things are actually stressing you out, you need to find a way to alleviate that stress.
Okay, like an outlet.
Over and over and over again.
Okay.
Because if you don't do that, your body is telling you, hey, something's about to give it, and if you don't change, you will die. So if you have shout out to the real talk.
High dysfunctional.
So when you actually,
I was taking a picture of you guys. I didn't want to look like I wasn't paying attention.
I get mad, nigga. You got chicken crumbs on your face.
That's
he got it all over the damn place. I'm starving.
But I'm enjoying myself. And when people think about high dysfunction, I want them to think about Thanksgiving dinner, Big Mama's house. That's what I want them to think, man.
He's talking about food and he's eating in front of us. You see how he's doing this?
All the time. She didn't want to come on set today because she's a hater. I told her to come in.
No, it's raining, nigga. It's cold. I'm not used to all this cold weather.
Shout out to the real. Hold up, real quick, cause nigga, we gonna need 3 parts of this shit. Hold up. Good coke crack. Anyway, medical risk factors: high blood pressure,
Yeah.
cigarette smoking, secondhand smoke, high
Yeah.
cholesterol, diabetes, obstructive sleep. I got hypertension. That's where it started at with me. Cardiovascular disease. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Heart defect, heart infections, abdominal heart rhythm, personal or family history of stroke, heart attack, and COVID-19 infections. So COVID-19 affects you. I didn't even know that. What the fuck?
But
Yeah.
I thought COVID.
Oh yeah, it does because of fucking it does. It's because
It's their immune system. But I thought that COVID was like you die from COVID if you have already pre-existing illnesses.
yeah, but
No.
9,000 people that died didn't.
Okay.
9,000. But yeah, it does. It affects anybody. But who knows? As black people, when we go to the doctor, we don't know what pre-existing we got. Nigga, we just deal with shit. My
Yeah.
pops, when he finally was dying, and he could have saved anything, well, he still would have been suffering. He was like, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and a lot of people tell you, like a lot of Southern people, a lot of Southern men, they'll tell you, I'm not going to the damn doctor because they're gonna tell me something wrong. Like they don't even want to hear it.
And now you hear about the doctors.
That's
giving,
crazy.
you
They're
know,
gonna find something wrong. I ain't going to the damn doctor.
black
They gonna
babies
find
dying in
something
the hand of white doctors. You hear about stuff like that. The things that make you go, So it's like you don't know who to trust. Only person I really trust is Dr. Sebi, and he's not here right now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Rest in peace, Dr. Sebi. So now you leave your wife, start all over. What the fuck happens, G?
So my wife has the house, has the kids. I have no money. My bank account's gone. I had a couple of rental properties. I had to sell those. My medical bills was over $500,000. My credit is jacked. I move in with my sister. My sister don't know how to deal with me either. So I go into that phase 2 I was talking about. That's depression. And depression is real. Like, and I start to understand my triggers and things like that. But I'm in depression right now. And, you know, thank God I had some good friends. Like I was telling you before, Smash, you was talking with me and you was showing me things on the internet. You're like, oh, G, boom, 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 boom. And I appreciate that. That helped me. You never came to me and say, yo, G, you know, I feel sorry for you. Da, da, da. Now he was like, yo, G, if I find her, we go get it. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, my man. I love that. You know what I mean? That's, you know, that's what it was. That's what I needed. And so, my friend Hamadi, my friend Odetta.
Shout out to him. That's my
Shout
boy,
out to
too. I
him.
like him.
No doubt, no doubt. They told me, it was like, yo, G, come back home to New York. We got you. You know, your
That's
family
real
got
shit.
you. We're
Hold
gonna
up.
show you love.
Let me stop right there with the friend aspect. And that's important to have somebody with compassion and love for you when you're going through something that ain't gonna judge you. First, I already know how Monty looks up to you like a big brother.
Right.
I mean, and I remember that day we went out, and we're gonna get back to that till I got a story to tell. I want to do them, but I want to get the footage on the camera here first, and we do that dumb shit later. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
that's a good story. But yeah, he's a good guy. And, you know, it's important to have people around you that care about. Let me tell you something, man. And people, my friends, like they don't even support my shit. It's like,
Right.
if you ain't supporting my shit, nigga, we ain't friends, my nigga.
Fact.
I be coming out of jail, I don't get no support. So being that somebody reached out to you, G, I got you. Nigga, you're a loved individual, man. It's good to feel love, so you gotta be a good person, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come on, man. Shout out to him.
Absolutely.
Shout out to
Shout
the
out.
real. That's exactly what that is. Got it.
Exactly what that is. And that's what we need. That's what we need. So I came back home and I'm tripping the hell out because I haven't lived in New York in about 20 years. So things is totally different.
You was going that long?
You know, I was going since 99.
I've been in jail since 99, dude. So I'm seeing
I'm
you once a
saying?
year.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? And when I came back to actually go to that club with you in New York, I was still in Atlanta. I just was working in New York at that time. You know what I mean? So I come back home and I'm at this stage 2 of this thing of depression. Like, damn, I gotta live with my moms again. I'm 42 years old and I gotta live with my moms. I got a room. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. There's no way I can talk to any shorties. They're not gonna be feeling me on this. So now I have to figure out how I'm actually gonna function as a man. I'm building my strength back up. You know what I mean? I see people, gee, what's up, what's up, what's up? I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know me, because I'm not even there anymore. And people bring up stories to me, and I'm like, yo, you talking about this other dude that died. This Greg doesn't understand that stuff. So then I got myself together. I started thinking about it. Go ahead.
It's that deep. That's how you feel about
Yeah,
it.
it's that deep. It's that deep. Like, I'm like, honestly, Smash, let me ask you a question, man. For real talk. If you couldn't use your hands anymore and fight people off, how would you feel?
Kill me.
Useless.
Kill me, nigga. You know, and I want to say sympathy card, because there's a guy named Atiba. He played football. He was like my high school rivalry. And I used to bust his ass in all the sports. Shout out to him. But me and him got into it over a female, and I was gonna beat him up. But I didn't want to beat him up for his female, because it wasn't mine at the time. Ever since then, there's been animosity. It's how it's functional. But the thing is, you know I gotta do this. So the thing is, this is what I do, baby. This is Smash Effect. So the thing is, though, and this is real shit, though.
Yeah.
We got into it because I had hired him to do Highly Dysfunctional. I wanted to put him on the show. And we did the show together. But they got mad because I invented the show. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to compete with me once again. But the only reason why, first of all, he's my friend's friends. He's Lenny George and them friends, which is not, you know, my brothers from the past. But I had sympathy for him because as a warrior, as a fighter, like if we fight, you want to get beat up, my nigga. Don't stop the fight. You know what I'm saying? You want to go out on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in, you know what I'm saying? If I can't use this and I can't say, man, what the fuck, nigga? What? If I can't do that, then I'm not me. You know what I'm saying? So when I see him and he like this, at the time that happened to him, I was dating his baby mother. And when this happened, I see him, all I do is hug him like, yo, how that feel? Because not to say that we the same, but he thought he was. He thought he was a warrior, young nigga coming up. And now he can't do that. I know he wanted to fight me and shit, but now he can't. And I wanted to fight him too. And I felt bad because he couldn't.
Right.
Like Jean Luis, he's over there in Haiti. We wasn't friends. We fought our whole life. Probably beat me up the most times ever. I got the best of that. It's like 5-3, but they said I lost 2 times. Whatever. You'll keep it real. I'm old. I got beat up. Nigga, fuck you.
Fuck it.
Fuck him. Fuck him. Nigga, I get more than I got. Fuck him. So, but he's in Haiti. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I reach out. Hey, bro, what's good? Because that's another warrior, man. You don't want to see go out like that. I want to see him here.
Right.
Now,
I get that.
I probably wouldn't even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But he's over there, and it's like, my nigga, that's fucked up, my nigga. Who wants to go out like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So being that we here too, rest in peace, Fatty, because I think this is gonna be a big ass show. You don't see it. This is nigga. Shout out to Fatty. Rest in peace to him, and continue, man.
That's
bad.
My brother right there. So that's what I'm talking about. Like even with what you just spoke on, right? Like this stuff is so deep. When you start losing your stuff, you don't know how to react. So now I'm recently, getting divorced, and I don't have a job. I don't have a place to live. I don't have a car. I don't have money. And like, let's say for instance, I see T on the street. You know what I'm trying to do? Like normally I walk with a kind of limp. I see T, and if I want to holler at her, I'm trying to straighten myself up. I'm trying to act like I don't have no ailments about me, because there's no way that I'm approaching like, yo, what's going on, baby? Yeah, I had a stroke last year. She gonna be looking at me like, yo, why the fuck would I fuck with you? So now all this stuff is psychologically messing up my head. So now I gotta deal with that. Then, this is where most people stay at too. When after they have their strokes, they stay in this depression state, and they don't know how to get out of that. They start getting angry. They start having no filter. They started dealing with really dark energy, dark vibration. So it's tough.
That's something to think about, dark energy.
Yeah.
Depression is real. Even without having a stroke, depression is real. And everybody that I know, especially if it runs in my family too. Depression runs in my family too. So I have been in dark places, but I don't know. I'm just built a little bit different. I'm always a person that I see the glass as being half full and not half empty. So I don't know how I cope with it, but depression is real alone. So to have a physical ailment and then be in a depression, that has to be like, you have to be like one of the strongest people I've met, because some people wouldn't have been able to even go on, you know, dealing with both the physical ailments and then the depression on top of it. I couldn't imagine.
And just real quick, that's the thing. When you can't be yourself and you losing your stuff, he put the right words for it. I just brought to Jim Brown. He couldn't please his wife. And that shit made him feel less than. To the basement, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to be around. He just wanted to stay out the way. Come home from prison and being Rashid or whoever I thought I was back then. Couldn't be that guy no more.
Who am I now, right?
Who the fuck am I? It took me a long time to even get here. A few different things, you know what I'm saying?
But what life is a process anyway. It's
right.
Process. We have phases in our life. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be at 50 being the Rashid you was at 40. You know what I'm saying? You're at 40, you're not the same Rashid you was at 20. So life has phases.
Not knowing who you are. Sometimes life will fuck you up, man. I came home from prison. I got a wife, kids. I'm working at Walmart for 200 hours every 2 weeks. Remember, I went out with y'all, I got a story to tell. I'm having a good time drinking all that shit because I'm so broke.
We was bad as fuck at you too.
Yeah. Yo, listen, that's happened to me twice though. I did that to Saigon too. Niggas try to fight me too.
But ain't that your MO though? You like the bully, like you house nigga shit wherever you go.
No, I house my own shit though. It's not like
what I'm saying is like you have a presence that, you know.
That's how I am though. It's not like I'm
a,
bullying nobody's shit.
No.
I let nigga, I'm free. I'm all love. You can do the same thing to my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, see you in my house. You already see how I roll.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you the other side of that story though. Once you finish that story, I'm gonna tell you the other side.
Yeah,
of that
tell me the
story.
other side.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Look, listen, I want to tell you my perspective. Not with you guys. I had just came home from prison, so I don't know how to drink. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be out. So when every time I went out, I was trying to drink fast to get back home. I just did 6 years in prison. So next time I come out, I'm just trying to drink. I don't have a limit. I have to learn my limits. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm out. I'm like, oh, let me just drink real quick. That's why I got in the habit of doing that. So it wasn't like I do that with your shit. I do that with my money.
It's like, so it must be like something like, you know, when you finally get it, like, it could be like a child that's been under like mad pressure with their parents very strict. And then once they get away from them, it's like, oh, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. I'm
I was free to do whatever you want, but it was more like, I'm trying to do the, I've been in jail. That shit fucked my mind up so much. I'm trying to live every moment or what I thought I was living every moment to the fullest. So if I go out somewhere, but listen, part of my personality, sometimes it's the wrong aim. You know what I'm saying? I still do shit like that, but now I know it can't be housing nigga shit. But listen, niggas house my shit now. I'm happy for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to curse a nigga out like, nigga, you drinking all my shit. And people don't realize that. So I had people at the crib, and if I don't curse your motherfucking ass out, nigga, I don't give a fuck about you, my nigga. That's what I do. I curse your motherfucking ass out.
Yo.
And it's all love, my nigga. Because if I don't do that, nigga, I ain't gonna touch you. I ain't gonna put a hand on you, man. I might be like, motherfucker, that's just me, my nigga. That's just me. That's just me. You ignore me for a day.
Let me tell you the backside of that story, man. Let me tell you the backside of that story. So Rogers got out of jail, right? Somebody's like, yo, man, Rashid just got out of jail. You know what I mean? He wants to see some action, and he's looking like a damn house, like a straight damn house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a big dude. He make me look like a midget. I'm 6'4", 250 pounds. I look like a midget to him. You know, he's a straight house.
Yeah, nigga at that time.
So, you know,
yeah,
he ain't had no gear to wear to the club. You know what I mean? You know, he didn't come. He just came home. So we gave him a shirt. He's like, yo, there's a button up. He trying to be on his best behavior. You know what I mean? So we get to the club in Manhattan. We get up in there. Rod like, yo, man, he's taking this shit. I'm like, yo, they got dress code up here. He said, I'm gonna go fuck, man. I'm home. I'm home, G. I'm like, all right, do your thing, man. So he got the bottles. He's drinking all the bottles up. And everybody coming to me, because I'm like the second biggest person compared to him. They come to me and like, yo, G, yo, talk to Rashid, man. He's taking all the daggone, you know, drinks, man. You got to stop him. I'm like, yo, why you asking me for, man? That nigga's a house. He could fucking fly me out, too.
Wow.
But, you know, I came up to him. I was like, yo, man, you guys got to let this cat live, man. He just came home. We celebrating. We was all love. You know what I mean? So I came up to him, and he's upset already because he could see the tension that Cats is talking about him. I come up to him, I'm like, yo, man, Cats, we pay like $400 for these bottles and shit. You just guzzling them shit down like it's nothing. He's like, yo, G. Yeah, he's like, yo, G, just because you're my brother, I respect you. I'm going to fall back, but I was going to fuck those niggas up. I was like, okay, man, but just relax on that, though. And after that, it was all good after that.
I'm older now, and now I can say, because I didn't have shit back then, and I wasn't, remember, I'm delusional. I still think I'm the old me. Right. So you was right, because niggas house my shit now, and I be cursing their motherfucking ass out.
Me and Saigon did that. Don't guess like, why you asking me for, man? I'm like, I don't want to fight this dude either.
I did that shit to Saigon, man. He had his whole posse there in Brooklyn and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's like, yo, go ahead, bro, drink. So I'm thinking these niggas is rich. So they got mad bottles. I'm just drinking everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm broke, though. I only got $20, so I'm trying to drink as much as I can so I can have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You got me at a fucking, a real event, and I'm a jail nigga with $20. Nigga, I'm trying to drink whatever you give me, nigga.
Facts.
Because I don't got no money, nigga. If I got my own money, then I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, man, it was a big ass deal, man. I'm gonna put that on the Saigon interview. This motherfucker, me and him get into an argument. We ain't talking for a minute after that. We just gonna fight, man. You know what I'm saying? He was off for doing his business. I never seen him, and we got to talk on the phone. So,
right.
Out to him. Motherfucker, can't wait till y'all see this video. Saigon on the way. Anyway, G.
What's up?
So, you move on. You trying to get everything. You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit.
I got nothing. I'm on disability. It's crazy because now I feel like
people say come back to the town. No, I said people said come back to the town.
I came back to the town, you know what I mean? And it hurt me because now I'm leaving my daughters in Atlanta. I'm like, damn, this is not the plan right here. So I had to ask my daughters first. I'm like, yo, is it okay that daddy goes back to New York? Because now this is the real shit that happened right now. Once I left my wife, we was on Medicaid at that time. And once I left her, she told me that I left the house. So when I left the house, Medicaid dropped me. So I was out of insurance. Mm-hmm. And in Georgia, they don't have public hospitals like they have in clinics like that like they have in New York. So I had to talk to my daughters. I was like, yo, daddy has to go to New York for about a year until disability Medicare kicks in. Because once you become disabled on disability for Social Security, it takes 2 years for Medicare to kick in if you're under 65. So I told him I had to go back to New York. I said, I'm sorry.
America.
I'm sorry, I got to go. And I went. So soon, and then COVID kicked in January, and in May, I was supposed to get my my Medicare. I didn't give a rat's ass. I had to get back to my daughters. So, I came back down to Atlanta after a year. But while I was in New York, it was rough. I was trying to adapt back to that New York mentality. Like when I left New York, Castle, Jones on people and then make fun of people. But now everybody's calling each other kings and queens. I'm like, this is different for me. I'm not used to everybody showing respect like that. But before it was like, you disrespectful, I'll smack you in the face. That's the New York that I knew. You know what I mean? But now it was totally different. So I'm trying to adjust to that. But my mindset is like how I was when I was 18. So I'm looking at cats and like, yo, I remember when you was doing this, that, and other, we used to smack you up, and now I'm a grown man. Now I'm like, man, I don't see you as a grown man. So, or if I see a woman, I'll see her, and I've known her when she was 18, 19 years old. Now she's 40 years old, and I'm treating her like a little kid again. And she looking at me like, yo, G, what the fuck are you doing? So all this stuff I had to really adapt to, plus getting over and not being married anymore, getting over that I'm not really with my kids no more. I used to be able to talk to them every night, give them a kiss, whatever. I can't do that anymore. So I really had to readjust. And then I came back to Atlanta and got to this next phase of my life.
So how's your love life today?
I don't have one.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I don't have one.
Get another wife today.
Nah, me and my wife, we done.
So would you ever get married again?
Will I ever get married again? I don't know. That's the least thing on my mind right now. I'm truly at a different place right now. It's like I was telling you, there was those three things. There is that denial, or you're upset that you don't know what's going to happen, then you go to depression. I think I'm at this new phase right now. in this new phase, it's more like it's more spiritual. It's more celestial. I can't really explain, but it's different. I see things different. I talk, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm going to talk. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to keep it real with you. And if you don't like realness, I realize that you have issues. And that's the thing I had to understand too. I understand now that I'm not the only one with mental issues. There's a lot of people that have mental issues that they didn't have a stroke and they didn't have brain bleeds. And I had to understand that. I couldn't understand
that. That's the part that's killing us as a community is that
yes.
we don't admit to it. We feel ashamed to talk about it. We feel ashamed to tell somebody about it. And that's what's killing us as a community, because the suicide rate in our community is crazy. Like my godson committed suicide in 2016, 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? And
crazy.
The fucked up part was he actually asked for help, and he called his mother. Let me tell y'all some real shit. Send chills up my spine. He called his mother and told her, "Mom, I'm hearing voices. Voices in my head is telling me to kill myself." You know what she told him?
Do it.
She said, "Boy, stop talking crazy. Get off this phone." So
that's what they would say though. Black parents would say that.
She said, "Listen, Ma, something's really wrong with him. Like, we need to go," and he was away from home. "We need to go check on him." So when he killed himself, they called her and she said, "I know he had called me talking about that crazy mess, but I didn't pay him no." What the fuck do you mean? Like, he told you he's hearing voices. His sister told him, take him to a hospital. Oh, he's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. Next day, he's dead. So us as a community of the elders, we have to start listening to these kids when they telling us something's wrong with me. Just like it goes so deep because we don't listen to our children. It could be molestation. A child could be molested and showing signs.
Stop right there. Now, one of my big causes when I got to fight and I wanted to tell my story, because my story, I've been molested, raped as a child. And we're not talking about females. I'm saying by men. I'm saying by my mother's boyfriend's brother. And growing up, I couldn't talk about it. I'm saying, even when I got older, when I went to prison, I started waking up like, oh shit. Because, somehow I blocked the shit out, like shit didn't happen. But in my story, I was, I got tied to a chair, And
as a mother, and I say this.
My mother hates me to say it. She just can't hear it.
I say this wholeheartedly because I'm a mother before I'm anything. When you have and I'm not knocking nobody's parenting skills. Don't think, I'm not saying that I'm the best mother in the world, because I made some mistakes, because them little motherfuckers don't come with instructions. You gotta wing it. But when you have a relationship with your children, is their actions that you see versus them talking. And if they feel like they can't talk to you, then that's gonna be an issue. So my whole thing is, if a child that is not used to communicating comes to you and say blatantly, this is what's happening, you need to do something about it. You need to pay attention. If a little girl is around a whole group of guys and she's laughing and smiling, and this one nigga walks in and she start acting different, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one more thing.
But I just pray that, like I said, we start putting this shit out here so people can say, see, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I hate when people say, what goes on in this house, stay in this house. No, nigga, we need to burn this bitch down.
Let's talk about it.
Shit going on in this house.
That's what I want to say. And I just want to bring it back real quick. Growing up, and me being okay with what happened to me. And that it's okay for me to talk about that. And that's where highly dysfunctional come from. I've dealt with sexual issues as a child, and to the point that but it has made me stronger. It has made me a protector. It has made me want to help people. It has done things in me that I wasn't comfortable with myself. But I always been strong. I always wanted to help somebody and protect them, whether it was the wrong and right way.
But you know what, God,
a lot of trouble I've been through.
But good thing that turned you into a protector. Whereas in some cases, it can turn them into the predator.
But that's what I want to say real quick. That's what I want to say. It's also me a protector, but I have had issues too. Like if I don't feel you heard me, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I need you to hear me because I talked to a woman my whole life that wouldn't listen. I can't tell her nothing. I can't tell her how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So now when I meet a woman, I'm like, listen, if you ignore my feelings, my nigga, I'm gonna break something. You know what I'm saying? If I speak to you and I tell you how I feel and you devalue my feelings or you ignore me, you know what I'm saying? That's where you lose me at. People be thinking like women and men, oh, you cheated on me. No, nigga. Too, my nigga, because I told you where it hurt. This is where it hurt. You can't say it don't hurt. This is where it hurt me. This hurt me. It don't hurt you because you ain't been through what I've been through. So this hurts me. So if I say something, I say, please, man. I understand I'm bugging. I might be overreacting, but let me do it. Just listen to me. Let me talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I come back and I might say, yo, I'm bugging out, man. You know if you don't listen to me, and you devalue me, you're gonna lose me. And then I'm gonna get strong with you real first. Cause I'm the type of guy, I'm real passionate. If I'm with you, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not, I'm like this. Yeah, what you gonna do, man? I don't give a fuck. I ain't never had nothing. I ain't never had nobody with me. I ain't haven't had nothing. I'm used to motherfuckers running out and leaving me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm so free, I'm like, hey, nigga.
You're desensitized.
Yeah, go ahead, my nigga.
You're desensitized.
So that's the reason why I dysfunctional. I can't change me being.
And I commend you for that. For being.
And I can't change me not being for my kids. You know what I'm saying? But I try now, and it's like now because life is the way it is. You can judge me now, but I only been here 2 years. Free, so-called free.
And kids are so forgiving. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
let them curse you out and call your names if that's what it takes.
I'm all for that.
Names, you know,
I'm all for that. But a lot of times when you're trying to be a parent outside of the household, you're an absentee dad. You try to come back around. It's like he said before. I'm intruding, and I'm an outsider, my nigga, and I wasn't there. So even my older kids, I can say whatever. I can tell them I love them. If you look through my old pictures, you always see my kids. I'm saying I came home, had my little money. I try to fight to be in their life. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't give a fuck. So then now when I'm trying to get myself together and I need them to work with me because I'm trying to do something, they don't give a fuck about that either. So now I'm like, yo, fuck that. I'm trying to do this and I'm fucking. If I got to leave y'all niggas alone for a while until I figure this out and get where I need to go, then fine. Because right now we're both on the bottom, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We're at the bottom of the barrel. Ain't nobody rich, you know what I'm saying? And I can't deal with that. So I got to find something I love doing and find something, a direction I go. So that's what High Dysfunction is about. I'm just trying to say it's okay. I'm still somebody. I still got a message. I still got a brain, motherfucker. I did that shit. I can't change that shit. You know what I'm saying? But let me be now. Let me be now, nigga. Why I gotta keep hearing about then? I already fucking paid. I lost everything, my nigga. I've been through hell and back. That's it. Leave me alone. Let me be great. I'm trying here. And that's all I'm saying. So bring it back and
Oh, hold on. Before you even do that, man, there's something that I need to really bring to your attention. Like, you know, I came to you and I was like, I don't know if we have the same type of audience, you know, because I'm doing one thing, you're doing something else. But the reason why I spoke with you and I chose you, well, first of all, shout out to Shanae McFadden. She was like, yo, talk to Rashid, man, you got to get something together, you know, you guys can build. I was like,
I did good. This is my first, because this is our second, me and T's second one. But we about to be official, so I'm gonna do a commercial for us. I want her personality to be a part of what I'm doing, even the internet thing. So I want her to be on there. I don't want to have to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? So I want her to punch in when she feel like and disappear when she don't feel like. You know what I'm saying? And she can go to her page and she can do what she want. But when she want to say something, she can do she can do a thing. And we can market this shit the right way. And we're about to do the relaunch. So we got to do a whole bunch of things, man. So this show here, man, I got a whole nother vision now.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Listening to your truths and your struggles and how to, help us as a community, be more aware of our health and, stuff like that. So shout out to you. Shout out to Greg.
And this is what we did with this, we brought a whole different perspective because it's more about relationships and coping, how to deal with certain things. Let me say, I'm gonna have a perfect title for this shit, man. So all we guys are black people, man. Lifestyle risk. Being overweight, you stroke.
And also too, Rod, don't forget how to cope with a loved one that's going through mental illness or physical illness,
disability.
how to cope with them. Yeah.
Right. We're gonna address that. Physical inactivity, heavy binge drinking, COVID. And COVID, nigga, what else we was doing on COVID? But
drinking, that's it.
Drugs such as cocaine and methamphetamine. I didn't hit them on all levels. You know what I'm saying? High blood pressure, cigarette smoke, high cholesterol, diabetes. I did that already?
Yeah.
Bad bitches will lead you to a stroke. All these niggas have a fucking stroke. And that's basically what my man is trying to say.
Well, basically, I'm gonna tell you about them bad bitches. When you get 55 or 45, 55 years old, bad bitches do not exist.
Yeah, they do.
That's a fact.
Real women.
They're 24.
And I'm saying exist in your bracket. Start looking for a real woman. Start looking for a real woman instead of these plastic bitches when you turn 40. Play with them until you turn 40. Then get somebody that's longevity with you. Because them bitches want $40 in a blunt.
$40 in the blizzard. That's all.
That's what you really want.
Play with them all you want.
40 in the blunt. That's all she really want. Yo, she brought it back to that shit. Yo, man, another thing, man. Complications from having a stroke. Loss of muscle movement. Difficulty talking, swallowing. We already talked about my grandmother, how she had difficulty talking, how to pain me, hear her talk. And then you heard Greg talk about how to deal with it. Imagine how she felt, her aspect. And her mind was still working. So he didn't change my mind. So now when I see somebody, I deal with that. If y'all not dealing with me in the future like that. So we'll see. But right now, he doesn't help me change my life and make me change my lifestyle. So memory loss and thinking difficulties. Watch out for that. Emotional problems. That's what we just talked about, dealing with them bad bitches.
And the phases that he said you go through. Phase 1, phase 3.
Pain, changing behavior, and self-care, and it's how you just function. Self-ability. All right.
Let me leave you guys with something though before we break out of here, man. The thing that I really want to drill home to you guys is that communication is key, and we've been talking about that all throughout this conversation about how we have stress, how people don't understand us, how different people communicate and we don't understand it. A lot of that all stems back to you. And if you don't understand how someone is communicating, repeat what they said. Like, okay, did you say this to me? And that person says, no, I didn't say that. This is what I meant. So allow yourself to have great communication. That will alleviate the stress that we're talking about, the hypertension, high blood pressure, because that's what's coming off because people offend us. And once they offend us, we keep that in, we internalize it, and we keep that anger in. So if we learn how to stop and listen, like truly listen, take our opinions out of it, take our thoughts out of it, and just listen to what a person said. I don't care what kind of approach they have. I don't care if they're cussing at you. If we got a church person and a person from the street, doesn't make a difference. Listen. There's always a message there. There's always a message. And if we get that part done, then we can help out our community. We can grow the community. It doesn't make a difference what religion you are and what kind of educational background you have. It's about listening and paying attention to a person's feelings. Because if you don't, that person's going to get upset. You're going to get upset and nothing gets accomplished.
And in my closing, I just wanted to say I agree 100% with what he said too. But at the end of the day, also when you have communication, also take into consideration the other person's feelings. Even though it might not be something that you agree with, but you have to actually learn how to respectfully disagree. I don't agree, but I respect what you said and why you said it. So I have to handle you accordingly. So I'm not going to offend you, even though we don't agree. We have to learn to let people have an opinion, even though it's not ours.
We can agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree.
Absolutely. And also one more thing, man. I'm an AVM superhero. As you can see here, what I do each and every month, I give out care baskets to stroke survivor caregivers. So if you want to be part of this actual mission, let me know. Direct message me at AVM superhero, AVM_superhero on Instagram. or Greg Graham on Facebook. Please, this is a great cause. I've already been doing it for 3 months now. I get donations in, and if you donate, you get a shirt. So please help us out. These caregivers really need it because us as stroke survivors, we give them help. So this is what this is all about. This is the mission.
Shout out to The Real. This has been Highly Dysfunctional. I got the Avian Superhero, my man Greg Graham. This has been a great show. One of the best shows I ever had. I had a great time. I learned a lot today. I learned a lot about myself. And I can't wait till y'all hear it. And before y'all hear it, I just want to say sorry. I'm sorry for being a dick.
I'm not, because I am, but I'm not sorry nothing. I'm gonna be an ass till I die.
Love, my brother.
I'll later. Enjoy you.
Nice
Love
to meet
you.
you.
Love.
And I'll send you over the information for what we was talking about on the inbox, right?
All right, that's what's up.
Later. Love.